Why are you keeping your distance? I asked, confused by the shift in his behavior. I've made a decision not to interact with people I'm not familiar with, he responded coldly. Realizing where he stood, I nodded, albeit reluctantly. Understood. I'll make plans to leave my mom's house then. It seems they're completely ignoring me. It's frustrating, huh? He said sympathetically. I expected this from my mother-in-law, but not from my father-in-law. It's unsettling, I admitted. There's probably a reason for their change in behavior. I think it has to do with my sister. Since she came back, everything has gone downhill. Don't expect me to feel sorry about leaving, I said firmly. You think I'll regret it? Think again, idiot, I added bitterly. I packed up and left my in-laws' house. And just 3 days after I left, everything fell apart there. I began reminiscing about how I met my husband. We first met at work. He was in sales and often came by my office. Over time, our conversations deepened and I found myself drawn to his caring nature and charm. Although he wasn't conventionally handsome, his kindness captivated me. Even though he was popular, he showed interest in me, and soon we began dating. As we spent more time together, our talks turned personal, and he shared details about his family. Having lost my parents in an accident when I was young, I grew up in an orphanage. When our relationship became serious, I confided in him about my past. That must have been tough, he said, showing compassion and offering his unwavering support. Not long after, he proposed, expressing his desire to marry me. Excited to be a part of his family, my husband quickly introduced me to his parents. During our first meeting, I told them about my orphanage upbringing. They were understanding and assured me it wouldn't affect our relationship. Their acceptance made me happy, but my sister-in-law's reaction left me uneasy. You grew up in an orphanage? She asked, clearly shocked. Given her close relationship with her brother, I assumed her reaction was just curiosity. Little did I know, this was the start of some tensions. Before our wedding, we discussed where we would live. Although living with his parents was considered, I decided to stay at my job. Around the same time, his job transfer made the decision easier. I thought about joining him, but my career and responsibilities kept me grounded. We agreed that he would move in after the wedding. I looked forward to enjoying our life together, with the occasional weekend visit to his parents. Though it was a bit daunting, living with my in-laws held some appeal due to my desire for family connections. Initially, things went smoothly. However, everything changed when my father-in-law came to me with an unexpected revelation. This moment marked the beginning of the tensions that would follow. With my mother-in-law away shopping, he asked to talk privately. What's going on? I asked, sensing something was wrong. I decided to take some time off from work, he explained. Time off? I repeated, confused by his sudden decision. He shared that workplace conflicts and his declining health led him to this choice. Watching my father-in-law struggle physically, I realized my mother-in-law wasn't showing the care he needed. Despite her usual kindness, her anxiety and tendency to criticize seemed to make matters worse. She wasn't nurturing him. Instead, her negativity seemed to exacerbate his health issues. He likely kept working through his discomfort, but his health continued to worsen, leading to more sick days and secret hospital visits. Mentally and physically drained, he had been absent and late often. There were whispers that he needed a break, but he feared upsetting my mother-in-law. His low income, dependent on overtime, made taking time off a financial burden. If I tell my husband, he'll tell my mother-in-law, he confided, asking for help with the bills. If I suggest a break, she might leave me, he added, his voice heavy with worry. His words struck a chord with me. Grateful for my mother's unwavering support despite my background, I decided to help him through this tough time. I understand. I'll send money to your account every month to help with expenses. I'm sorry, and I'll do my best to get better and back to work soon. Thank you for trusting me, I reassured him. My father-in-law continued the pretense of going to work while I quietly supported him. My mother-in-law didn't notice the extra transfers as she didn't pay much attention to the bank statements. Meanwhile, my father-in-law found ways to take care of himself, attending mental health sessions or walking in the mountains. Over time, his health improved. I hoped he would return to work soon, but an unexpected twist disrupted everything. After the fight with her husband, my sister-in-law decided to move back in with her parents. I can't stand living with my idiot husband. I'll stay here for a while. Can you make meals for me too? She asked. From the start, I sensed my sister-in-law's hostility toward me. Her obvious disapproval at our first family gathering had left my husband unsettled. During our wedding, her sour face said it all, and she made a pointed comment to me directly. "My brother looks good, but you?" "He could have done better," she said, embarrassed by my lack of parents at the event. Yet, considering her own past marriage and relocation, I thought I could handle living with them, expecting minimal interaction. If my sister-in-law had stayed home, though, I knew her constant criticism would have driven me to leave. Despite her harshness toward my father-in-law, I believed her stay would be short-lived due to marital issues, expecting her to be gone within days. I trusted my mother-in-law's kindness, never imagining she would betray me. One evening, after coming home from work, my mother-in-law seemed distant. "Is something wrong?" I asked, sensing her discomfort. She was unusually cold, avoiding our usual friendly chat. When I pressed her, she suddenly accused, "Do you know you've been talking badly about me behind my back?" Taken aback, I defended myself. "I've never said anything bad about you. I've always appreciated your kindness. Why would I gossip about you?" "You've been the perfect daughter-in-law, but secretly gossiping about me," she insisted. Annoyed, I replied, "Believe whatever you want," and she left with a smug smile. My sister-in-law chimed in, "Looks like you're losing favor. Your true nature is showing. Raised in an orphanage, huh?" Determined to clear my name, I retorted, "I don't gossip. I haven't said anything hurtful." "But the neighbors heard you," she countered. "They told me you've been criticizing me." Confused, I asked, "Which neighbors?" "Well, it's been a while, so I can't recall their names," she shrugged nonchalantly. Furious at the false accusations, I shouted, "I never said those things. Stop making up stories." Frustrated by my sister-in-law's manipulation, I left the house with a heavy heart, wondering what new surprise awaited me at home. When I arrived, the three of them were eating takeout, just like the day before. They didn't greet me, acting as though they hadn't even noticed my return. But I was used to their disregard. As I looked out the window, I saw something in the garden. Upon closer inspection, it was my belongings, my designer bag ruined from being left in the rain. "Is this my stuff?" I exclaimed in shock. My mother-in-law avoided my gaze, staying silent. "Why won't you say anything?" I demanded. "I don't talk to strangers," she finally responded coldly. "I can't be friendly with someone who's not family." My sister-in-law smirked, waiting for my reaction. "And where's my father-in-law?" "I've been supporting him during his time off. I've been contributing to the household, out of gratitude. Shouldn't you be standing up for me now? Shouldn't he defend me?" I thought, deeply disappointed by his indifference. I drove to my husband's work assignment, eager to escape the chaos of my in-laws' house. During the drive, I didn't mention anything to him. I figured my mother-in-law hadn't told him about my sister-in-law's return. If she had, I was sure he would have reached out. Though I sensed the awkwardness in our relationship, he never brought up his family. Arriving at his apartment, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief, but also stress. He wasn't there yet, likely busy with work. I waited anxiously, but soon enough, my husband walked in with a bright smile. "What a nice surprise, just seeing you," he said cheerfully. His warmth instantly lifted my spirits, but the relief of seeing him happy, combined with the lingering sting of my in-laws' treatment, made it all the more difficult to bear. I told him everything, how they ignored me, treated me like an outsider, and ruined my belongings by leaving them out in the rain. Through tears, I explained everything. Finally, I made it clear that I would never return to their house. If he couldn't support me, I'd ask for a divorce. My husband apologized for being so caught up in work and not checking in on me more often. He expressed regret about how his family had treated me. "You don't have to apologize," I replied. "My mother-in-law and sister-in-law started treating me horribly. My job didn't require me to be in the office every day. Most of my colleagues and supervisors worked remotely, and I only needed to visit the office a few times each month. But I hadn't experienced married life with them in the house. The constant bullying from my sister-in-law made it unbearable. Now at least we could finally live the way I'd hoped." I also admitted that I had been helping them financially. "Why didn't you tell me you were paying the bills?" he asked. "My father-in-law didn't want you to know, so I kept it quiet. We're running out of money for living expenses, and no one's cooking or doing laundry. The place is a mess. As your husband, you should go back and handle things, transfer the money, and help out," he said. "How heartless," I snapped. I told you before, I don't regret leaving. I'm not going back. Finally, after they attempted to contact us, my husband's anger erupted. He firmly told them, I'll never forgive you for how you treated my wife. I won't send her back, and I won't go back either. You're no longer my family. Stay away from my wife, or you'll regret it. Even my sister-in-law and mother-in-law must have been shocked by his words. A few days later, my father-in-law reached out, asking for more financial support. They stirred up a scandal, demanding I send more money home. I told my husband about it. Report them to the police, he insisted. My colleagues supported me too, expressing disbelief over my past situation. Focus on remote work, they advised. Meanwhile, the pressure from my mother-in-law and sister-in-law took a toll on my father-in-law's health, leading him to quit his job. My sister-in-law tried to return to her husband's family but was turned away. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay stunned.